started about the gathering the Rastafarian history locally within Leeds.
The first part starts off with music, goes into dance, goes into visuals. We deal with like the origins of African artifacts. There are like 6 modes, like categories that the actual artifacts can be seen from.
One of our things through the show was repatriation of ourselves, which was key to Rastafari, and also the repatriation of the objects, and how we can actually use those objects, right, as artists today. We had to learn about those objects themselves, and the museums couldn't really tell us in depth about these objects. So this is why, in a sense, we kind of found out about the modes. Standing, sitting, supporting, balancing, kneeling, and riding. Yeah, right, okay. So those are the modes that are in African sculpture. But we took, the sitting aspect of it, linked in Rastafari. Going back to the throne, when Christ comes and he shall return, he shall have the names Kings of Kings, Lords of Lords, conquering line of the tribe of Judah, linked in with the Davidic lineage. Okay, so that's where the throne comes in with the Ark of the Covenant, linked in with Manelek and the Queen of Sheba, and Rastafari, how we see him as the Messiah today.
When it came to fire burning, there was how we eventually came to everybody who was going to be performing in it. There was like a process. And this is true of this project. I was to approach it with faith.
Mm-hmm. You have to have big faith on all levels.
I had to approach it with faith.
It's true.
I had to have faith in my ability, and I had to have faith in the people who I was working with.
Lift it up, pull it back, come again, my selector. In a this, I reminisce. I know.
It became appropriate to me that I saw then, hold on, how can you get the whole use of the artifacts, the whole history and everything, how can you actually get it? Then there was the whole problem of what everybody was doing, how we was meeting to rehearse it.
And it's some of us got that experience.
And there was all those things, but it came to me, I had to have faith in the people, and this was proven right up to even the night before we did the performance. Call it heartbeat music because you can say there's different layers. The more you understand it, the more you don't hear it as just music. You understand what is behind it, and you understand it as a cultural expression. That leads to actually more about Rastafari itself, and particularly here in Leeds. I think the essential thing about this project is the focus on the origin and the base of Rastafari in Leeds. Hence, what we call 72 is highlighted, and somebody who was part of those foundations were also interviewed.
Tell me about
72.
Yes, I'm from the part.
72, boy.
Were you there at the beginning?
Yeah, because it was like, well, it was my brethren first of all, and it started with the sound, Target, screaming Target, and there was a couple of them in the sound, and Ruben Shah, being a conscious brethren, along with DC God, Yeah. They were just there living, renting, working and so on. And the sound came about now from, because he wasn't, in the beginning he wasn't a brethren that was into Rastafari, you know what I mean? We never heard about that till later on, when now he went out and he found like this consciousness, and through his reasoning with people, you know, we all kind of say, well, why am I talking the truth? Do you know what I mean? So from there it was getting together with brethren and sistering, just so that we could vibes off and, you know, give our experiences really of how, you know, we saw ourselves just as youths then coming up. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I spoke to Eula, we should be part of it because she influenced me as a child, right? She was in Rasta back in the 70s. I probably was about 9, 10, 11. And when I called her, right, she was kind of like touched that I could actually remember her being a Rastafarian. And you got to remember how the Chapel Town was. It was totally Rastafarian, the whole culture, the liberty, the repatriation, you know what I mean? It was just full of it. So I called Eula, okay, to kind of like, you know, to call to remembrance of that. And she herself didn't even realise that we, as younger ones, was even watching her being a Rasta woman, so that we can actually come back to her in this time and actually get her to tell her story, right, okay? And alongside with sisters like Pat Regan, Shaff, and all the brethren them, but lived in that house. So they're, right, okay, in terms of, they don't see it as anything changing because they're planting the seeds that we are the younger ones, right, okay, can come through and now tell that story. Because I have the experience of it, but I was too young. When Bob Marley came to, was it Chapel Town, and it came to, was it University, and I think it came down to trades as well, you know, right, okay, I was too young. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't really kind of like go out 9, 10, 11, do you know what I mean? So part of our history, right, okay, the Rastafari is wrapped up with how we live, and that's why we went to the people that actually lived it.
The artistic forms are the vehicles of expression.
It's the vehicle of the expression.
Because an art from dance anybody can do dance theatre. But the fact that I do it through skanking roots and culture, you can only really do that if you have Rastafari at your heart.
It's how you live. I'm a teacher, yeah, okay, but I'm still a Rasta. People will separate the teacher out of me. Do you know what I mean? And just say I'm just a Rasta. No, I am an academic. Right? I'm a researcher. I'm a painter. I'm a mother. I'm all these things. Okay, but the core of my heart, right? Okay, is Rastafari. But the core of my heart is Rastafari. Is Rastafari. Is Rastafari.